We are live. We want the gold, sucker. We want the gold, sucker. What up? We're back at it again. This week's edition of the It's Real Wrestling Podcast. I'm your boy Ben Goosen. What up, Sage and Mark? How you doing?
What's good, Ben Goosen? Gotta apologize, man. I feel bad. Yeah. I know we're running a little late, and that CP time is real today.
Yeah, it's just technical stuff, y'all. Sorry for running late, but that's for the live listeners, the audio listeners. Y'all just listen whenever y'all get a chance, so don't feel bad for you. Let's get right into it. Quick question, because you and I were texting earlier today, and you had a good question for me, and it's, will Jeff Jarrett be in the Hall of Fame? Hit us up on Twitter, at SageMark, at Real Ben Goosen. Hit us up. Let us know. So what to you is his, and we couldn't talk about this fully over text, but what to you is his full contribution since it's the WWE Hall of Fame? What's his wrestling contribution's unmatched. It's great. But what's his WWE contribution?
So Jeff Jarrett was, in my opinion, he's definitely one of the top 10 Intercontinental champs of all time, man. I definitely enjoyed his gimmick and his run while he was here. I love the whole strutting in the ring that I'm better than you kind of thing, and the whole play on country singers not singing their own tunes, and it was a very creative time for him while he was in the WWE. And then he brought us Slapnuts, bruh. I mean,
that was in WCW that he introed Slapnuts. That was totally WCW.
He did Slapnuts when he was in WWE.
We didn't call people Slapnuts. He hit people with a guitar, but he didn't have Slapnuts written all over the guitar.
This is true. But now the WCW and WWE are one and the same. His contributions to WCW should, fall over. And if you think about it, one of his best contributions is the fact that he attempted to do what no other person could do when WCW fell. And that's bringing us an alternative wrestling program. Despite the fact that most people didn't like it, he kept it running and was involved for 15 plus years. So, I 6 years in the WWE, plus the 3 or 4 years he was in WCW. I think that in itself, that's a longer longevity than most people.
Yeah, if Snoop can make the Hall of Fame, maybe Jeff Jarrett can. If Mike Tyson can make the Hall of Fame, maybe Jeff Jarrett can. So for those of y'all listening, I mentioned to Sage, I just think his story would make, and especially interviews with him and Vince now, would make for a really interesting 24/7 or, some type of WWE network, network hour and a half special. Or even if Jeff Jarrett was on the Stone Cold podcast, one of the work exclusives. Something a little bit different. But yeah, we just talked earlier a little bit about Jeff Jarrett. I got another question that's outside the ring or outside of WWE that I want to ask you a little bit later on. It's about some hot talent right now. So I'm a bad wrestling fan. This week I was off work and I spent most of my time watching Netflix because I pay for it. I've been paying for it for years. I don't use it, so I thought, to use the heck out of it, I'll try to invest some time into Stranger Things. I finished season 1. It was a real good show. Started The Punisher, finished 2 episodes. That's a real good show. So I need to take advantage of Netflix. And we won't, this is a completely separate subject for a separate show, but I need to take care of watching my Netflix now before my ISP charges me $35 a month or something silly like that to watch Netflix, so they don't throttle my speeds, because net neutrality is officially gone as of, for re-recording this on Thursday the 14th. Neutrality is gone, and I'm going to have to pay an extra $10, $15, $30 for Netflix, dollars for the WWE network. I have to get my fix. Got to get my fix. So, yeah, good shows, but I was a bad wrestling fan. I fast-forwarded through majority of Raw. Down. Raw, you know, I got to admit, Kane in the main event, I'm just not feeling it. I think maybe this is his last run and everything, but I'm just not feeling it. It's like when Big Show's in the main event. He's going to probably lose and put someone over. Not into it. What do you think?
Yeah, it kind of perplexes me as to why, like, Kane is actively there. I don't feel like he's really necessary to put Braun Strowman over.
Not at all.
I don't know. It's just kind of weird to me. Like, he's already over, but who are you gonna really put him next to? And I guess that's the thing, man. You know, a couple of weeks ago, I was saying that the Intercontinental belt was the new WWE belt, and the reason why I say that is that, like, the Universal title, like, the fact that the Universal title is not even defended at every pay-per-view, I think puts more of a strain on the creative team, because everything's now centers around the Intercontinental belt, if that makes sense. Like, that belt is only...
There's no title on the show.
Yeah,
no world title on the show.
There's no world title on the show whatsoever, which means that you have even more people vying for one title, because that's the only title that's being showcased on TV.
Does this mean we're going into, probably, since there's a double count out, and what up, Mel Johnson, the master live listener, dude, subscriber of the year, and throw a shirt their way?
You know what? Now that you mentioned it, you know, I did put a list together, and Silky Mel did make that list.
The list?
Yeah. He's a nominee. Him, Stephen Thatch, and Soda Pop Phoenix on and Joker. They're all
a few cats nominees.
A
few cats on.
We still haven't come up with a viable name for the category itself, but we do have, I think it's like Jobber Jobber. I think that was like my prototype name for Jobber Jobber of the year. Yeah,
and we got to get these cats some shirts, or we'll figure something out. Copy of WWE 2K or something like that. Well, we're going into. It sure seems like it's going to be a Kane, Braun, Brock triple threat at Rumble. Is that what you're thinking? Because we've already seen Brock and Braun a couple months ago.
Yeah, I mean, it does look like it's going to be a triple threat. I
don't care.
I can't help but to think that, yeah, I mean, I guess I'm in the camp right now that I don't care. The Universal title doesn't mean anything. It feels like that they just gave up on it, that they're only going to defend it 4 times a year at the big pay-per-views only. The title doesn't matter. I mean, that's the reason why they have, one of the reasons why they have the Intercontinental belt on Roman. Unless, you know, they're going to do a whole Hogan Ultimate Warrior 2 where they have the Intercontinental belt or Intercontinental champion face the world champion
with both titles on the line.
Yeah, with both titles on the line at Mania. I mean,
since Reigns is the IC champ.
Yeah, since he's the IC champ. I mean, that's the only thing that I can think of. Like, is the Miz gonna, like, the Miz is, it just, I don't know what's going on with Raw, man. Like, at what point does Roman drop the title, the IC title?
Well, he has a long time to drop it between now and Mania. Just think about it. You know
Like,
how bad if Roman Reigns fights Lesnar at WrestleMania, which is kind of what it's looking like, how bad he's going to get booed on the Monday after Raw. He has the IC title, which I'm going to try my hardest to go to the Raw after Mania. Do you have any idea how bad? We saw how bad it was last year, and that was just him beating the Undertaker. So yeah, Raw hasn't been the most impressive thing in the world. I do miss a little bit of the Miz, and as Silky Mel in the chat says, Miz will be back in a month. He's out filming a movie, The Marine 76, starring Silky Mel Johnson, Ben Goosen, and Mike Mizan. And dude's got a baby thing in LA. I assume maybe that's probably where they're filming the movie. But other than that, I feel like Finn is kind of in a weird spot. Like he's not really feuding with anybody and going over on the Miz Taraj. And the real highlight of Raw this past week, unless I'm missing something, for sure for me was Woken Matt Hardy and the Bray Wyatt Vignette, the promo that they cut. So it's official. They're going full throttle with the Woken thing. Like no joke. He had a little promo. Do you think the WWE is going to butcher it and overdo it? Do you think they're going to overdo? Because part of the thing that made the broken gimmick so great is almost how cheap it was. Like how it came off as these were just 2-3 dudes that filmed some stuff at their house that got over huge. There wasn't any overthought into it. No, it looked to me like there was no major script writing to it or anything like that. And obviously the Hardys had a ton of control in it. So do you think the Woken gimmick is going to ultimately work over the next year? Or will it be butchered because it's the WWE?
I have faith that they're going to let Matt do his thing. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. Like, if the WWE tries to put their spin on it, it's going to be terrible. And I know there's reports out there that the first war is going to take place at the Hardy at the Hardy compound, but at Bray Wyatt's compound kind of thing. Which I mean, I'm okay with as long as this ultimately leads to the Hardy compound. If we get the Hardy compound, then I think we'll be okay.
If it's as silly, and they bring back Vanguard or King Maxwell, if it's as over the top silly, then yeah, it could be good. Because we talked about it last year. We actually liked the Wyatt Orton thing because it was just silly. Like, it was fun. It was over the top. It was meant to be over the top. And the Wyatt's New Day thing was good. So I'm with you. I hope they don't butcher it. Bray Wyatt sucks, by the way.
His
win-loss record sucks.
It does, but I think that this is good for him. I think this brings him back to the forefront. I think Matt is the perfect person for him. Like, this is his Omega to his Alpha, or his Alpha to his Omega. Like, they complement each other. Their gimmicks complement each other very well. And at this point, like, we don't care who wins or loses. We just want a good story to be told from beginning to end. And if this thing
over the top,
with some over the top theatrics, exactly, some craziness going on. And as long as we get that, I think we'll all be satisfied. I think we can all say that we'll be satisfied with it. But that just, you got to let Matt do his thing. And when the merch comes through, bro, when the dilapidated boat comes out and Itch Week comes out, Vince can thank Matt later, because the merch is just, it's ready. Like, we're ready to just throw the money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And Jeff could sell some merch. Back in his last run with WWE, he had a ton of different merch. Now, when I say Bray Wyatt sucks, who has a worse win-loss record? Bray Wyatt or Dolph Ziggler?
So let me ask you a quick question. the red pill or the blue pill.
Exactly. But I don't know, man. Just between, I just can't. What's on your mind when it comes to those two guys and their crappy win-loss records?
So Dolph is at the end of his career. I think we all see the writing on the wall. His contract is coming up pretty soon. And there's a really good chance that homie is not going to re-sign. And, this is all speculative in nature, but it just kind of seems like he's on his last hurrah. And that's okay. Like, if he chooses to continue wrestling, he'll make a killing on the indie scene. We all know that.
Oh, God, yeah.
He could be one of the people that can help elevate Cody's 10,000 quota that he needs.
For sure.
Which would be pretty awesome. For Bray, I think Bray's kind of in the doghouse. Like, I just feel like he's in the doghouse for a while. I don't know why, but it just appears to be that way. I think that, again, him having Matt is a godsend for him and his character. It gives him a new lease on life on his character. I think he'll be okay. By the end of this, at the end, I think he'll be totally okay. And, I mean, he could potentially be the one to retire Matt Hardy. And that's
no time soon, right? No time soon.
No time soon. But, eventually it could lead to him ultimately retiring Matt Hardy, which would be a pretty good accolade for him.
Yeah, in the next year or two. Anything else on Raw that I missed? I kind of. I can't think.
So
I love that sound.
Congratulations!
That's one of my favorites.
Congratulations to my Browns. Getting the first.
Congrats to your Browns. No, they didn't win. They lost in overtime.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, they. I watched I'm actually becoming a Browns fan just because Josh Gordon's back, and I watched the full game, and I thought they had it in the bag, and I was close to turning it off in the second half, and no, they blew the lead, and the Packers won in overtime. Matter of fact, Cleveland received the ball in overtime, did nothing, and punted it. And off the punt, their kick returner ran it back to the 20. A Green Bay's quarterback threw a touchdown like I think 4 plays later or something like that.
Dude, I'm taking the blue pill, dog. I saw a fourth quarter we were up like 21-7 or something like that, or just 21-14 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you come with me on Thursday telling me that we lost 27-21.
Yep.
I gotta take the blue pill, man.
Defense gave up big time. And I think K.I.R had a couple picks. Yeah, no, they're low key becoming my second favorite team behind my Dolphins. That's what I was doing Monday night. My Dolphins whooped up on the Patriots. That's what I was doing Monday night. I was watching the Patriots. So we had a nice
thing. Oh, hold on, man, real quick. So on Raw, Jason Jordan is still in the mix between Joe and Roman Reigns, man. I had thought for sure.
I like what they're doing with him.
Could we see a triple threat match for the IC belt?
Yeah, the hell with it. Why not? F it. You already got Kane and Braun and Brock in a triple threat. Fuck it. Throw another one on there. Why not?
Oh man. So before we get into SmackDown, I wanted to get your thoughts on the WWE announcing the mixed challenge.
Is that on the pay-per-view?
Do you even know what I'm talking about?
Well, in the chat, Mel Johnson, didn't he put something about the mixed match or something on Facebook? I meant to comment on that earlier, but was that what you're talking about? I don't know. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, so we're having a mixed. God, I forgot what the correct terminology is for that.
Just a mixed race title match. It's Sage versus Baby. Two brothers with European.
The Germans versus the Brits.
Yeah. And what's going to happen in the match is the Germans and the Brits are going to go one-on-one.
That's right.
And then my Indian people are going to come out. All 17 billion of us are going to come out and beat you up.
Ish my neighbor.
Yeah. My Indian people got to get back to work real quick. Because the second we leave to go beat you up, structure of the U.S. is going to go downhill. And when people got to call for some help.
That's wonderful.
All of us outsource folks. This mixed match, is it like boys and girls or something?
Yeah, so it's going to be a mixed tag match. The logistics of it's not complete, but they're making it sound like it's SmackDown versus Raw. I don't think so. I think it's an actual tournament. Yeah, it's a tournament, a mixed tag tournament. And they're saying that the fans are going to be able to pick the pairings between the men and the women, but it's only going to be on Facebook.
So are they basically going to have, I assume, 8 men, 8 women who don't have much going on with them right now? And they pair up, and then fans. Man, I was about to make a real bad comment just now. Mixed gender, mixed match.
Joe already did. Apparently, he said that his tag partner is going to be his towel valet.
Oof. No, I was going to say in a mixed gender match, and this is a joke, or is it? Because if I went with a mixed gender tournament, I'd want to see Rich Swann in that said tournament.
Too soon, man. Too soon.
That's why I didn't want to say it out loud. That was a bit messed up. Hopefully he didn't put his hands on a lady.
I'm just going to say this, man.
And that's what we got to get into. Mixed gender, that was a perfect tie-in. Let's put the mixed gender thing. It sucks. It's on Facebook.
It's on Facebook. I don't know.
Right now?
No, right now it's just the voting for the men and the women pairing. So go to WWE.com, vote for who you want to be paired together.
You vote for? Just pick one man, one woman. And I'll pick one man, one woman.
So on the SmackDown side of the house, I would love to see Charlotte and Shinsuke together. I think that would be a pretty interesting pairing.
So it could be anybody. It's not just like Heath Slater and everybody that hasn't been on TV lately.
No, so they actually picked 5 guys and 5 women for each roster. So DB did 5 men, 5 women. I'll go off from memory or try to go off from memory. But it's Charlotte, Becky, Naomi, Lana,
all the top
and Natalya. Yeah, Charlotte and Natalya. So that's them. And then 5, it's Bobby Roode, Shinsuke Nakamura, Dolph Ziggler,
Randy Orton.
No Randy Orton.
Baron Corbin.
Oh shoot.
Okay, if you don't remember them, because it's 10 from each.
2. And then on the other side of the coin, you got Sasha, you got Bayley, you've got Asuka, you've got the
Nia
captain
Jax or Tamina.
Nia Jax, and then you've got the captain Alicia Fox. And on the guy's side of the house, you've got Braun Strowman, Samoa Joe. You've got.
Is it just the Survivor Series teams, pretty much?
No. The other guy was someone from the New Day. I won't. For some reason, I don't think Roman Reigns is in it. I'm almost positive he's not.
What's interesting, to say the least.
Anyhow, yeah, it's Oh, Jason Jordan. Oh, because Kurt Angle came out and said, "And my son, Jason Jordan." So Jason Jordan is in this thing as well. So I don't know if that's going to be an angle or not, but that's going to be pretty interesting.
So, Rich Swann, that's kind of the big news of the week. Yeah, I think he may be, hopefully not, but he might be out of a job pretty soon.
Yeah, man.
Do you fire him?
I gotta believe that you got to wait till everything comes through. Man, domestic disputes are so tricky, man. So freaking tricky because, like, I'm not defending the guy, but I'm just gonna say, like, things get heated. People are emotional, and people do dumb things
on both ends. Yeah,
on both ends, right? On both ends, and then people overreact. And I'm not saying that this is the case, but people overreact when they're upset about stuff. So when you're quote unquote witnessing something, you might not you may not be getting the full story, and it just kind of sucks because you're like, this dude could be facing like 10 years over
I think
misunderstanding, or it couldn't be, or maybe it was the whole thing. But I mean,
and it's not some side piece either. It's his wife. They've been together for years.
Yeah.
Or the police report that was addressed online.
Exactly. And I know that people are coming out and say that, hey, they're not surprised and he's had a temper and stuff like that. But like I said, we don't know exactly what happened. And they were apparently, I read the police report. The police report essentially said that she had a match. He had critiqued her match. She didn't like it too much. They got into a verbal confrontation about it. And then from there, there was a headlock. And then there was throwing someone in the car. Well, throwing's kind of a strong word, but essentially the argument escalated into the vehicle. She drove off, tried to get out of the vehicle. The witnesses kind of said that, hey, it looked like she was being taken against her will. And, he's saying that, hey, he tried to get her phone because she had the GPS and it was the only phone that had the GPS. And so, like, I can see it from both ends. And that's kind of why it's hard for me to pass judgment on it. I would rather just sit back and
nothing's going to come of this. She'll drop the charges.
Yeah. I'm assuming so.
That's what I hope happens, and it gets
bruises.
I hope he. Yeah. I hope that. I hope the best for him. You know what doesn't help him? I'm going to say this with complete honesty.
What doesn't help him?
He's black.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that.
That's a first. No, I'm serious. If you do not know him, and this isn't like a race podcast, but it's shot and look at what he looks like. Just being real, hence the name. It's Real Wrestling Podcast. Being very real here. Then, if you're not a wrestling fan and you see a man, probably, they just finished wrestling, probably just wearing, basketball shorts, t-shirt, jeans, and a shirt, whatever's comfortable because they had to travel full time. Coming out with half-done twisties. His thing, it's a shtick. It looks like he could fit the part. I mean, several people hit that. Several people have that stereotypical look. Crime Time. Like when they were cruising out in the streets, they were supposed to look like criminals. They were supposed to look that way. Corey Graves, he could look like some punk rock dude who could whoop up on anybody and he wants to fight. He's all tatted up. Tons of these guys are all tatted up. They look the part. It's a part of, being in the showmanship that they're in. In today's world, stuff goes on, and I hope this wasn't the case. not a point at all, but he kind of looks the part. And I mean, it just looks bad. Okay, so let me ask you this: I don't think if you saw it happen, like there's so much we don't know behind the scenes. Maybe they were in a busy area and he didn't want his girlfriend being pissed off and running out into traffic, or his wife. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. I don't know. But if he, so do you fire? Say, based on the facts that you know now, would you fire him? You're Vince McMahon. You have to make a decision. Do you fire him?
No, I mean you.
Rehire him when the dust clears.
I mean, at this point, it's all circumstance. I think what they did right now is they suspended him until the allegations are cleared up. Because when you read the police report, you've got two different stories that can both be very plausible. That could happen. I can believe it both ways. So from
the police report's pretty clear about he got her in a headlock, put her in the car, and the only other objective to that is his statement of, "Oh no, I didn't touch her." So his statement three people say
yes. So I'm gonna speak from experience on my end, man. Once upon a time, a long time ago, there was someone who had falsely accused me of abusing my daughter, and dude thought it was hilarious to have CPS called on me and stuff, and so after all that stuff kind of cleared, I saw him at the zoo, and I confronted him in front of everybody and said, "Hey, why would you sit there and put my family in jeopardy by spreading a lie?" Like straight up, like why would you sit there and spread a lie when it didn't happen like that? And the dude got scared. I mean, naturally, I'm not trying to, but it's serious nature to me, that someone tried to take something away from me, this precious and dear to me, and accusing me of something that I didn't do, and then try to, say that he had witnesses to these things when there were no witnesses at all. But there's something on paper that says that there were witnesses, but none of those witnesses, could be found or heard of when investigators came and tried to question things like that. So the moral of the story is I don't place faith in witnesses so much. One, they could be completely lying. Two, they could only be seeing bits and pieces of things that happened, but not what happened at the beginning. So I don't put too much stock in that, man.
Good point.
I just don't. From experience, I don't. I'm not excusing his behavior. What I will say is that when times get heated and they get rough, like you just got to take a step back, man. Take a deep breath, take a step back, and it's okay to take a step back. Don't think that it's demasculating to turn the other cheek and walk away, but like just nothing's worth spending 10, 15 years in jail or losing your job or not being able to provide for your kids. Like,
I agree.
It's not worth it, man.
So I think WWE, they shouldn't have fired him until the facts come about. His wife may drop charges. I don't know how that whole legal thing works about dropping charges and all that, but nothing may come of this, and it'll be a lesson learned. They're married. Hope that whatever happened, helps the marriage grow. You fight for one another. So I hope it helps the marriage grow. And speaking of fired, I got to recant a statement. I said 8 months ago that Paige should be fired for having a celebrity in a video. And I thought about it this weekend and put that video out on purpose. Sure, you should be. But it was a privacy breach. So I stand corrected. I know you tried to convince me of that at that time, and we had a little argument over it. But yeah, I changed my mind, and I could do that. So
you're only human, son.
Yeah, I was wrong. I'm a type. I'll admit when I'm wrong. I think
you didn't like it when your news got leaked, right? You didn't like it when your news got leaked.
No, so she had something stolen, so I got to recant my statement. I was wrong about that, completely wrong. But let's get into SmackDown because we still got to get into predictions too. So SmackDown, too eventful this week. Definite go home show. I like the yep movement. I thought that was classic, and it fit Sami Zayn perfectly.
Can I just do it? Can I just do it one time? Can I
do it? Go for
it. Time, bro. Just one time, bro.
Go for it. Go for it. Right.
Here we go. Right. Here we go. Hold on. Let me put it on. Hold on. There we go. All right. Yo.
That's what they were doing. Ruin the yep.
Yeah, man. I love that, man. The yep movement, man. The yep. Yo, Sami Zayn is on a whole new level. Who would have ever thought that we would have this much fun with a heel Sami Zayn? I mean, come on.
Yeah, that was great. That was the highlight of SmackDown for me.
Oh, man.
Mainly because I watched SmackDown in like 20 minutes. I fast forwarded through most of it. Just because it was a go-home show and I knew it. That was the highlight. I think you tweeted out about it. Man, poor Byron Saxton.
Yo, destroyed.
So I thought when you tweeted that out, or maybe you text me, or both, I thought it was during Daniel Bryan's opening promo and watching a match, and Daniel Bryan just put him in his place, and I'm like, damn, DB, give the guy a break. You got him real good. And Byron Saxton tried to justify himself, but it didn't work out too well.
Yo, yeah, Byron was just healing it up, man. Like I've never seen so much heal up in my entire life. Like he just came off as a heel, and like at the very end, he was like, Daniel's gonna find a way to screw Shane McMahon and the rest of the roster. And I'm like, what the hell is this dude talking about? Like, are you literally trying to blow the ending of Clash of Champions?
Yeah, I didn't know where they were going. Speaking of Clash of Champions, did you want to get into a quick prediction?
Yeah, just real quick, man. Did you see the Bludgeon Brothers match?
I fast forwarded through the entire thing.
Man. No.
What I do when I fast forward through these is I fast forward through it and then I stop at the ending of the match.
No, man, you got to watch the whole. It's only like 30 seconds, bro. It's the best 30 seconds ever, man.
Wait, is it the finisher? Some dude screamed, right?
Yes, man. But like you have to watch the entire match, man. Like these guys were jobbers? Like legit. Yes, man. These jobbers were like on a whole new level, man. Like, dude, they were like on Ellsworth level, man. It was funny as hell, man. They did other stuff other than that, yeah. Yes, man. Like when they first came in, like they were looking at each other, and then the guy who was doing the yelling was like, "Okay, man, you go first," and then he goes out. And then the guy just gets decimated in the ring. Dude, Harper does this clothesline from hell on him. He flips the dude over, and the dude gets up, and then just his legs just buckle back, bro. It was fantastic. Yeah, and then
all right, I have to go watch it.
Yeah, man, you got to watch that match, dude. That was just simply amazing, man. Not a fan though of them facing Brain Zongo. But
You mean squashing Breezango this weekend?
Yeah, just like the Fashion Files got squashed and relegated to YouTube.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah, man. The final episode aired on YouTube, not on Smackdown.
Jeez.
Makes no sense at all. It's one of the best segments on Smackdown, and it gets relegated
it gets pops. It gets real pops.
Yeah, so it was that, and then lastly, 205 Live was very, 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 very interesting. In the fact that they are seriously teasing a face turn for Drew Gulak. Last week I had said that where the money was in terms of if Drew Gulak was forced to, I still think that's where the money is. If he's forced to lay down for Enzo and he decides not to, that would be money. And they were teasing it, and then they just pulled back, man. And poor Tony Nese got the
oh geez,
bad end of the stick on that, man. So Tony is now a face.
Okay.
Yeah, so you got to watch it, man. Like that actual segment was really, really good. This crowd didn't give it no love though, but it was a really, really, really good segment for the Cruiserweight storyline.
So, do you want to get into our predictions? I think we've already predicted.
Let's do it.
Breezango and the Bludgeon Brothers. Usos and New Day versus Gable, Benjamin, Rusev, and Aiden English. Definitely, the Usos are officially face now, so I think. I actually think they'll retain because it's weird that it's 3 faces versus 1 heel group that was just thrown together. I do like Rusev Day, but yeah, I have the Usos retaining. Probably pinning Aiden English.
Yep.
And
it's elimination.
There's a lot of.
It's a fatal 4-way elimination, so it's not like they can only tag in their own partners. There's going to be 4 people in the ring at all times. You only tag in and out your partner, and it's going to keep going until everyone is eliminated.
And so I've got Corbin retaining over Ziggler and Bobby Roode. I think there's just some extended feuds that can go on, probably between Corbin and Roode. But yeah, I definitely have. And unfortunately, we talked about it earlier with Bray Wyatt's and Dolph Ziggler's record. I think Dolph's going to take the pin here. And Baron Corbin.
Yeah, I think that's the smart move. I think that if Bobby's going to take the title off of him, that he's going to do it in a one-on-one contest. At the end of SmackDown, it was kind of weird because Bobby looked like he was heel, which that was pretty interesting. But yeah, I've got Corbin retaining. It's too soon for him to drop the title.
So another multiple person match, Orton and Nakamura versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn with the 2 special guest referees.
Dude, that's the main event, man. Why are we doing that now?
Well, I thought AJ Styles and Jinder Mahal would have been the main event.
Nah, this one's the main event.
Title match? All right, we'll get to that one then. All right, then Charlotte and Natalya. And then we'll get to the next title match.
Yep. I've got... and this one's a lumberjack match, too.
Yep.
I've got Charlotte winning, and the $1 million question is, will Carmella cash in?
I feel like we're asking that question a lot. We're pretty much asking at this point at every pay-per-view. It just depends on if Charlotte
every moment. Yeah, I mean, I think that if she's going to cash in, she's definitely cashing in on Charlotte. Like that's a given. It only makes sense for her to cash in on Charlotte. I feel like this is the time to do it, man. I know Survivor Series was the perfect time to do it. And it felt like that they teased us.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was definitely a lost opportunity. It would have just been the perfect moment, but I just feel she's going to cash it in. She's either going to cash it in now or you're going to have to wait until Mania because there's nothing between now and then. She's not cashing it in on a on a regular show. So
and it's not like she's going to highlight Mania as the champ. At least we don't think so.
Yeah, that's for sure. I don't think so either.
Jinder and AJ. I think I actually have Jinder getting it back. I mean, well,
man, this one's tough.
Then again, I've also predicted in the past that Styles is going to have the title and Nakamura is going to win the Rumble. Well, since I've said that in the past, I'll stick with that. I'll stick with AJ Styles retaining.
Yeah, I've got. Man, as much as people don't want to see it, I've got to believe that Jinder's going to get that title back. Like I feel like are you literally going to let? Yeah, he's got to get the title back, man. Because the way that I'm seeing it is, if he retains, if AJ retains, AJ's not going to have an opponent until literally Mania. Because he would have beaten Jinder twice, and there would be no reason for Jinder to get a third rematch. But if AJ loses and has his rematch at the Royal Rumble, which is what I'm thinking that will happen.
The rematch will happen at the Rumble?
The rematch will happen at the Royal Rumble. And then that feud will be over. So I've got Jinder recapturing his title, be the 52nd title holder.
And like you said, it's the main event. Randy Orton and Shinsuke Nakamura versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Guest referees in Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan. I definitely have Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn winning, but it's the how that's the question for me.
Yeah, man. I mean, the two questions that come to mind is, one, will Daniel Bryan take a bump? And two, at what capacity does he get involved in the match? I feel like I feel like Shane is going to draw first blood in terms of counting them out, and DB does a reverse decision, and that they go on for a little while. Then Shane gets knocked out towards the end of the match, and DB counts the pin. And I don't know, man. I think that's kind of how it's gonna roll.
Yeah, it's something interesting. I still, to this day, don't think Daniel Bryan will ever step in the wrestling ring ever again. At least in the very least, not in the WWE. But I think he could be interesting as a heel without hitting anybody or getting physically involved to a degree. And just seeing him as a heel and not doing the yes chants or any of that, him ever getting back in the ring. So I have Daniel Bryan flipping the script and either helping Owens and Zayn win and turning heel. I do think Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are for sure going to win. Fuck. So we'll see. I mean, we'll see. A lot could happen between now and then.
Yeah, it's shaping up to be a pretty decent pay-per-view, and this is the last pay-per-view until the Royal Rumble, actually happens. So, I mean, brace yourself, guys. It's going to be a heck of a ride, and we're definitely interested to know how you guys think the world is going to, or not the world, but how Clash of the Champions is going to go. So just, hit us up on that Twitter at Real WrestleCast, or give us a call at 419-777-IRWP and give us your thoughts on it. We're definitely interested in seeing what your opinions are on this matter. What do you think, Goose?
Yeah, I think I'd love to hear from you guys anytime. Quick question for you. Is as hot as they could be. And I'm talking about the main guys, the Young Bucks, Marty Scurll, Cody Rhodes, and Kenny Omega. should or should they not debut? Should they or should they not go to the WWE while the going's hot, while they're at their peak?
I am going to say no. They don't need, they don't. It's just funny for me to say this, man. With all the projects that they have going on in 2018, there's really no reason for them to be in the WWE. The WWE, I mean, they don't need the WWE. Like, they make good enough money to survive and to live off of. A lot more than any average indie star coming up, in the coming ups or whatever they call it. Like, they're set. They're making money. They've got tour dates all around the world. They work for like 2 or 3 different promotions simultaneously. These guys are getting paid just like the WWE superstars are. Merch is constantly getting sold out on Pro Wrestling Tees.
Hot Topic, yeah.
Hot Topic. They got deals with Hot Topics. They actually have a television deal going on. And they've got their first major arena being booked. They don't need the WWE right now, man.
I don't think they need them, but it's as hot as they are worldwide. Your value to the WWE is at a contract year if you're in the NFL or NBA. You're in your prime. And you could make, I don't care what anybody says. I don't know the wrestling. I'm not a former wrestler or anything like that. I don't care what anybody says. You could make more money in the WWE than you could make on passion of indie scene, regardless of your merch, whatever. Theoretically speaking, I mean, WWE could lowball you and say, "Oh no, you get paid this, and you get zero merch, and you have no intellectual property rights, all that stuff." Make more money in WWE. I was just curious because they're the biggest thing in wrestling right now. Arguably the biggest thing in wrestling right now, and they're internationally known. They're big outside of WWE. So I just was wondering, all right, well, the 4 or 5 of them to jump ship. I mean, obviously they'd go into a feud with the Shield and lose, but because it's a WWE product, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I doubt it, man. Like, I seriously doubt. Like, the Young Bucks have been adamant since day one that they would never go to the WWE. So I could never really see them. I couldn't. I can't envision them ever being in the WWE, like, ever, just because of that's been their motto, that's been their stick, and there's so much bad blood between them and the WWE, and there's never been a fostered relationship between the two. So I don't think any amount of money that you can throw at them will really appease their pride, because they're very prideful of the fact that they all their
worked
success,
really hard to get everything they have.
Yeah, exactly. That they've done it without having to need the big machine behind them. And I think that that's their contribution to wrestling.
Yeah, I think maybe not now, but later, it'd be great to see them as the Bullet Club, because they could be a huge stable if they get Gallows, Anderson, AJ, and Finn all back into it, and Shinsuke Nakamura joins it, because
they could be just like the NWO was when they came to the WWE.
Except they'd all be able to go in the ring. A huge difference.
See what I did there?
Yeah. That's the asterisk is they could be NWO, not not even of those guys could go outside of the main few. This week, I just wanted to touch on the one. Do you have anything else you wanted to touch on?
No, man, that was pretty much it, man. It was a pretty tame week for wrestling, through and through. So I mean, that's pretty much it. Y'all keep fighting the good fight when it comes to net neutrality, guys. I can't say that enough. I fear for what's going to happen in the next 12 months. But if you haven't already, contact your congressman, and get the word out, express the way that you feel about net neutrality, and let them be heard. Let them be heard. I'm not trying to hear to persuade you one way or the other, although you guys pretty much figured out, which way I'm going. But it's better to have a voice than have no voice at all.
This is what I think about it. That's exactly what I think about when it comes to about net neutrality, how it stresses me out. Yeah, big thing. Oh, by the way, everybody listening to this podcast next week, you're going to be charged $9.95 to listen to our podcast from here on out because your local ISP bandwidth comes to old Sage and Vince. McMahon or Ben Goosen, they found out how much bandwidth that actually via Vince McMahon and his infinite portal of bandwidth network. That up. Screwed my identity up a little bit there, but
yeah, or just use that $10. Use that $10 and put that into our Patreon, so that way we can offset the cost. You know what I mean?
Well, my identity's gone for the second time in a year. Like, goes along with Vince McMahon, so I can play off of it pretty well. On Twitch, Xbox, at Twitter, and type in @SageMark. We're not hard to find. I need to Twitch stream more, but I got to say, I don't like Twitch anymore as much because it takes too damn long to load on the Xbox. A little bit more lately. Send out a lot of notifications because not a lot of people have Mixer. Twitch, you take forever to load up on Xbox. It probably takes about a good minute to 2 minutes to even get a stream started.
It's that net neutrality.
Yeah, it is. So do you want to get into some shout-outs? Do we have any major shout-outs this week?
Nah, I don't have any shout-outs this week, guys. Didn't have anything prepared for this week.
There's nothing. Nobody we haven't shouted out before.
Yeah,
From what I saw, for the most part, a couple new followers, but
yeah, nothing major. I think we have one show next week, and then we're off a week. Is that right?
Yes. So we are, and then after that, no, we might be off 2 weeks, right? Back to back.
Yeah, we'll probably because New Year's the next week, isn't it?
So actually, we're here next week. It's the 21st. 21st next week.
Yeah, 21st is next week.
The 21st.
No.
And then
the thing is like the 17th, isn't it?
No, it's the 21st next week. Then the 28th.
No, it's the 18th next week, and then the 25th. Oh, Thursday. You're right. 21st, then the 28th. So we'll be gone the 28th and the 4th. Yes.
So next week is Well, I guess next week's the IRWP Awards then. Sage Mark posted some initial categories, kind of a beta draft version.
Yeah.
We got a couple categories. Sage Mark, we're going to try to iron some out. We'll show from last year. Personally, I think I've got my winners out there already, but we'll have all that. And believe me, I was looking for him earlier. I'll have the drum roll drops because your boy Ben Goosen is the master of drops. He doesn't. It's been a year and he hasn't picked up any. So we'll definitely have the drum roll drops.
That's something
like neutrality.
We're missing them drops, man.
We'll have them. I'll for sure have the drum roll drops next week. Out there. Peace. Do your thing. I would appreciate it that you can. Tell somebody Merry Christmas. I seen a dude the other day with a Bullet Club shirt, and I went up and gave him the Too Sweet sign. He had the sweater, actually. I was jealous, and I was going to jack that fool, but didn't get a chance, so I got it. He was bigger than me, too, so I had to give him the Too Sweet sign. But I digress. Peace. Everybody else, happy holidays. We got the IRWP Awards coming next week. Everybody, that's Sage and Mark. Keep it real.
Keep it real, guys. See y'all next week.
Hey, everybody. It's your boy Ben Goosen here. Ben Goosen Just wanting to say thank you for listening to today's show. I really appreciate it. Sage Mark really appreciates it. Hey, if you got a minute, swing by IRWP.us and check out our Patreon account. It's the holidays. Donate a little of that change, that clankety clank. Our way it really helps out so we could help run this thing, especially so we could help run this thing ad-free, because you know the ads may come your way one day with the net neutrality that we're talking about and all that fun stuff. Visit us on social media as well. Ben Goosen, just search for us. It's easy. I'll make it easy for you. Ben Goosen, Sage Mark, It's Real Wrestling Podcast. And remember, the opinions today expressed are that of the hosts and not of the IRWP. Again, visit us on IRWP.us. And at the end of the day, just keep it real.